My name is Francesca Peniguel, and I'm from Australia. At the moment I'm living in Rotterdam, and I chose to do a solo from Mauro Bigonzetti, and he is the director, or was the director of Arte Balletto in Italy, and I worked there for the last 3.5 years. And this solo is from a piece called Vam, about Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And it's a full-length evening piece, 1 hour and a bit. And the solo of mine was created for me the very first season I was there. It was created on me, and it is at the very beginning of the piece.
So the piece starts out with that solo. That's how
No,
we
there
have to
is
imagine.
an introductory piece with the group,
Mhm.
and then the group go off and leave me on stage. And I mean, the piece, it's an abstract piece, but it's based on Mozart's life in an abstract way. And the solo of mine is doesn't have a concrete meaning, but in a way, for me, it's like the hatching of the egg, the very beginning of Mozart and his creativity and his genius. The innocence also of Mozart.
And throughout the piece, is it your character that develops as Mozart? Do you have a development through the piece from that solo on?
The piece is actually, it's quite, there's many solos and duets throughout the piece, and not one person is Mozart.
How did the choreographer actually work with you on the solo? How did he develop it?
Mauro is a choreographer. He always has a very, very clear idea. Before he comes into the rehearsal room, he knows almost exactly what he wants. Each individual dancer for him has something very special, and from that he takes what he sees and he creates something in his head, and then he comes into the rehearsal room and gives you what he believes will bring out the best in you. And then through that rehearsal period, then he'll see something that you do and go, oh, I like that, I want to take that. So he'll, it's a work between the two. He has a lot of respect for his dancers, which I find very important. A lot of trust also. He has complete and utter trust, and
do I understand it correctly that he works with improvisation also?
he sometimes works with improvisation. In this solo, there is a little tiny bit of improvisation, but it's more, we made the steps gradually like this. There's freedom in the rehearsal process, definitely.
And do you remember, the very first start, when you started working on that solo, what the onset was, what the initial task was, or the initial thing to work on? What input, do you remember what input he gave you, or what you were busy with trying to develop that solo?
It's quite a slow solo. Very, very beautiful music, Mozart's music. The whole piece is Mozart's music, and he did give me the idea of this quiet innocence, this quiet genius, this quiet creativity that was building up in Mozart, and starting to come out. And so for me, this is already a picture. This is already an idea to begin with.
And how often did you perform it actually, and how long, over how many years?
The premiere was in 2005, and up until 2008 we've been performing it. I can't tell you how many performances. A lot. A lot, and all throughout the world.
Yeah.
So.
And
really nice.
how did this solo develop for you? Was there sort of development?
Yeah, of course. I think when you perform a solo so many times, each night has to have something different. You can never ever do the same solo in the same way every single performance. And so for me, yeah, definitely something grew from doing it over 3 years, and I really enjoy to do this. I also we performed Romeo and Juliet, and there was a dancer sick, so we couldn't perform part of it. So my solo from Mozart was actually put into Romeo and Juliet, so it was a completely different context, completely different costumes, different music, but it somehow has the same innocence as Romeo and Juliet, and so it fitted really, really well. So I was quite amazed. So it's also nice to have the opportunity to perform it here in completely different spacing and in daylight, just to see also another time out of context how it will work.
Do you have ideas about that, or how that could work, or?
I'm in the process of thinking about
yes,
it.
Yes.
But I think with the daylight, it can be really beautiful. If it's a sunny day, I think it can really add something to it.
And is there a certain reason why you chose particularly this solo for this occasion?
I think for me the creative process of this solo was a beautiful time in my life, and so every time I do this solo, it brings me back to that time. Yeah.